Is it usually your mouth that gets you into trouble, that starts the controversy?
Well, I sort of haven't been in that much trouble, given that this November it's 45 years. I mean, I've never had a defamation case against me, ever, in 44 or 45 years. So maybe it's the way I say it. Maybe I say safe things in a contentious way. Or maybe I've just been lucky. I don't know.
You weren't lucky this week.
Well, I got to a degree what I deserved.
Facing a personal fine of $50,000, John Laws sped away from 2UE in his $200,000...
The Supreme Court in New South Wales found Laws guilty of contempt for his on-air comments about a child killer.
Scum. Absolute scum. Pig.
John Law's tirade led to the aborting of a murder trial. And although the killer was eventually jailed for manslaughter, Laws admits it was the most serious error of a long and controversial career.
I mean, I made a mistake, and as soon as I'd made that mistake, I immediately wrote to the authorities and said I've made a mistake and I apologise, and what can I do to rectify it?
You admit that? There's no argument about that,
No,
that
absolutely.
you made a mistake?
Absolutely, I made a mistake. And I apologised on more than one occasion, firstly in writing and then in the court. And I apologise now because it was the sort of mistake I shouldn't have made, but I did.
Not so much the fortress of Arrogance, but a bit of oasis, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, when you think where it is like an oasis. When you think you're so close to town. Wonderful. You're very lucky.
John Laws is without doubt one of Australia's tallest poppies. His Wallara house symbolises the wealth, the power and the celebrity that so rankles the establishment.
There's some nice things that we're lucky to have around us. I'm not sure that that's one of them, mind you. It's a very good painting.
That was the entry for the Archibald Prize.
Yeah. Well, Caroline loves that. I like that one, for obvious reasons.
After a very controversial career, do you think that Lawsie's any closer to the kind of respectability that you and I know he really craves?
I can't answer that because I'm always thinking he's respectable. I suppose he is a bit outrageous. He can be very naughty, can't he?
Caroline Laws knows it's impossible to gag her man. She can't even slow him down. Have you ever tried to slow him down?
Well, of course, I worry terribly about all of this. And he says I'm a terrible nag, in fact. I'm always saying, you've got to eat this and you can't eat that, and have a rest and I'll close the shutters and you lie down and fluff up the pillows and, you know, I mollycoddle him or try to care for him. But I don't have the strength to curb a man like Lawsie. I don't have the strength, do I?
Are you my friend? I'm your pal. Okay, well, if you're my pal, what have I got to worry about? Doesn't matter what's in the paper. Don't you worry about anything that's in the paper. You're my pal, that's all that matters.
He speaks through a golden microphone from a studio he calls the Fortress of Arrogance. And Laws is well aware it is that studied arrogance that's made him a prime target. Did you expect the public pillaring that you've had this week? I mean, look at this. Judge blasts John Laws, and the real message, he should be jailed.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time I've seen that, because I don't read things written in newspapers about me. I gave that up a long time ago because it's rare that they're pleasant things.
So have you just become even more thick-skinned about this kind of criticism, this kind of loathing?
Oh, no, I'm not thick-skinned. It hurts me. It hurts me. I might simply have become more cowardly. I maybe don't want to read it because I'm frightened to read it. But I find that a very interesting headline. Was that the Herald?
That was the Sydney Morning Herald.
I find it very unlike the Herald. I mean, it must have been a light news day, because it's also very interesting to note that there were 3 judges. One said I should be jailed, 2 said I shouldn't.
How do you think you would have handled it if they had said 3 months in jail like the one dissenting justice wanted?
Well, I would have hated it. I mean, to be deprived of your freedom, I would have hated it, but it would have been yet another thing in my life up with which I would have to put. But if people are going to make sport of the fact that John Laws, disc jockey, as people like that would like to call me, has finally fallen, they're wrong. It just, all it does to me is make me more determined. Again, I'm sorry I made a mistake. I did something that I shouldn't have done. I upset the process of the law. The process of the law is something that I hold very dear to me, and that was the reason that I got into trouble. I was so disturbed about a man slaughtering a child, and I became emotional, and I shouldn't have become emotional. But I don't like people who slaughter children. I called him scum. I don't know how anybody could say that I was excessive or emotive in my language.
If your words had not only caused the trial to be aborted, but in fact allowed that man to go free, your burden would have been even worse.
That's right, and that's why I'm distressed at the mistake I made.
Do you think this will damage your career? What will this do to the audience out there for your radio or television?
The majority of them have expressed very strongly to me that they understood that I became emotive about it. I mean, I've got 7 grandchildren. You've got children. Can you imagine somebody shaking a child until it died and biting its scalp? It's not manslaughter, it's child slaughter. I mean, if I can't become emotional about that, as I said to you before, then I'm in the wrong job. 13 30 32 is our telephone number if you'd like to give us a call. Tell us what's on your mind. Hello.
Just this week, Laws copped another bucketing, this time from a media watchdog, for blatantly pushing products throughout his show.
I mean, they say, I mentioned Toyota. Well, I'm not going to mention bloody Mitsubishi. Toyota pay me, for Christ's sake. What's the matter with these people?
He's quite shameless about it. The fact is, John Laws is as much a product as a person.
Most Australians don't mind me getting up off my arse and making $1. It's only those who haven't succeeded in doing it that seem to object.
Off with the Kimberleys, off with the Kathleen Gores. This is the Land Cruiser GXO. For about
when you
36,000.
talk about a Toyota, it really sounds as if you're in love with the pistons, the wheels and the car.
I am.
Even if you are driving the Bentley down the road or something else.
Absolutely. And that's one of the wonderful things about it, you see. That Toyota don't dictate to me that I have to drive a Toyota. I can drive whatever I choose to drive. But there are occasions when I couldn't drive the Bentley or anything else. The Toyota is the car for the job.
You don't have to do a commercial now. They sponsor this show, 60 Minutes sponsor is
But you see,
Toyota.
that's the point. It's not a commercial. It's a true passion about the product.
Do you ever feel that you've misused your selling power?
No, because that would be a pointless exercise.
But if you've endorsed, for instance, the housing company once, there was a building company that you backed, it collapsed.
Yeah.
Do you feel bad about that?
Very bad. I gave the money back. But that's the only time it ever happened in 44 years that we picked a wrong un. And ever since I've never personally recommended land packages or any real estate thing.
Is it that selling power that is pulling in the, I'm told reliably, over $11 million a year now that you're making?
You never discuss money with your friends, Jeff.
Well, even in the ballpark, that makes you a very, very good salesman.
Well, as I said to you before, I hope I am, because that's my job.
His favourite old boat is the Princess Neverfail, and it's that bankability of the Law's name that's about to bring in millions more dollars. Rupert Murdoch is paying Laws a fortune to cross the harbour from Radio 2UE to the studios of Foxtel.
We have a lot in common, this old boat and I. We're both born the same year, so we're both 62 years of age. The boat's had slightly better maintenance than I've had, but I have great affection for it.
But both still afloat.
Both still afloat, yeah.
People have always teased you about the size of your offices.
Yeah.
This has to be one of the great offices in the world.
Well, I think it is. I absolutely think it is one of the great offices in the world. And maybe that clinched the deal.
In what must have been the worst week of his professional life, John Laws was hardly hiding from the glare.
Welcome to our program. Tonight, a man whose life reads like one of his very own novels.
The voice was hard at work, reaching for an even bigger audience in a medium where, in the past, he's never really felt comfortable.
On radio, I play all the little musical bits, and I'm a disc jockey on radio. I have control of the telephones and the little musical stabs and the records and all that stuff. On television, I didn't have any control, and I felt a bit lost.
As if someone were pulling your strings and you'd become a puppet.
Yeah. So
reading the auto cue.
Yeah, so I felt a bit uncomfortable about that. And apart from that, it was the old thing. I got tired of people telling me I had a great head for radio. Bryce Courtney has now become Australia's largest selling author.
Whatever medium he's working in, Lawsie's selling power attracts the movers and shakers. He can sell a paperback or a politician.
Well, they don't come on my program because they like the colour of my eyes. You know, they come on the program because they think that I can do something for them. You know, they use me.
Who uses whom the most then? Is it you sucking
kind
the
of
ratings and the headlines out of the Prime Minister, or is really he gets still, whatever you say to him, getting his message across?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's kind of cooperative, really. You know, they blatantly use me, but that's fine.
Mr. Keating began his second day in Sydney with John Laws and a lengthy radio interview which ignored...
John Laws doesn't just interview the Pollies, he dines with them, invites them to his home and calls them his friends, for a while.
Do you still lunch with them after they've left power and they no longer need you?
No, of course not. They don't want... I'm no good to them.
Seriously? They drop you that quickly?
Politicians use me, but if it's going to be good for my program, I'm a bit to blame too. So. But I don't mind. No, good. They drop you like a hot potato once you're no good to them.
Fly the ocean in a silver plane. See the jungle when it's wet with rain.
Prime Ministers and critics come and go, but Lawsie's still there 45 years later, still entertaining people and still enjoying himself.
When people want to call me a disc jockey, little do they realise that that makes me feel better than most things, because that's what I am. And you know, I still love playing the music and talking over the front of the music and singing with the songs. I've just had a terrific time, and I think it probably annoys a lot of people that I've had a terrific time while they've been wasting theirs, being bitter and angry at their own failure.
He's always been a rebel without a cause, never taking much notice of the critics or even station management. But at 62, John Laws certainly has begun to think about what Australia will make of him when his long ride is over.
Are you sensing that now that's the next big decision? Really? When is the moment to go?
Yeah. I think about it now. I would dismiss it before, even though I'll let you in on a secret, I've been thinking about it for probably 15 years.
I'm not trying to kill you off early, but would a time to consider be when you hit that 50 years of broadcasting mark, a half century?
Yeah, well, yes, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Does it matter to you deeply that you go out on top, in control?
No. It matters to me that I go out having the respect of my audience. That's all that matters.
I noticed you didn't mention your peers.
No, well...
Or the Sydney Morning Herald.
Well, I think it's very unlikely I'll ever get that. And apart from that, my peers, if you want to call them that, if by that you mean journalists and critics and failures, they don't pay my wages. My audience does. And I want my audience, when I finish, to be able to say, well, we got our money's worth.
Well, everyone knows John Laws. He does his job so well. He mightn't have got to bed last night, but I'm damned if I can tell. Everyone knows John Laws. That's why he's the boss. The biggest voice that ever soothed the souls of the Southern Cross.
Hello world, this is John Laws.
In the world of radio, he's the common denominator, the voice of the people.
No, I don't think anybody cares about it.
Oh, they do. Oh, they do.
For 35 years, he's entertained more Australians than anyone we can think of.
Mate, I'm 50 and I reckon your show's the tops.
Thank you.
He can make a politician...
Dr. John Hewson, good morning and welcome. How long do you think that we've actually been in recession in Australia?
...or break a listener's heart.
You can't think properly because you're having difficulty in expressing yourself, and I'm sorry for you as far as that's concerned. But let me tell you what you're trying to say in essence.
But when he switches off the microphone, the king of radio retreats to another world.
Thank you for listening. And you be kind to each other.
Let me be a little kinder, let me be a little blinder.
Which one's Nono? This one, Grandad.
No, thank you, no.
In the peace and quiet of his farm, you see another side of John Laws. The family man, the father, grandfather, the doting husband. After his years of wild living, it was John's third wife, Caroline, who finally tamed the lion.
He had about the courage of 10 lions. It was as if he was a ruler of men, almost too much, I thought.
What caught your eye the first time you met him?
I thought he was a frightfully romantic figure.
I was madly in love with Caroline when I was 16. Desperately in love with her when I was 16. And I remember coming home to my mother and saying, I think I'm in love.
But they were too young then to know just what they had.
Anyway, we went our different ways. Caroline joined Sadler's Wells Ballet and went to dance with the Royal Ballet in London. And I went to the Bush as a jackaroo, and we just drifted apart.
John set a course for a life of his own. Along the way, he found fortune, enough to buy whatever he wanted, like this classic cruiser.
What would have happened to this whole beauty if you hadn't have saved me?
Well, it'd be awful, wouldn't it? Because it's a wonderful old boat. And
As he sailed through 2 marriages, Caroline was up north in New Guinea, raising 4 daughters on a coffee plantation.
She had best part of 20 years or so in New Guinea?
not that long, 14.
14.
After a couple of decades apart, what odds that they would find one another again?
We met each other about 20 years later in the tunnel of love at Luna Park. You see, I told you you wouldn't believe it.
I called out, John, it's Caroline, no response. So then I called it out, John, it's Caroline, Cameron Waller.
And I heard this voice and I thought, well, that's it. And my marriage at the time was shaky. From that moment on, it was irreparable. And it was just a matter of time before we'd spend the rest of our lives together. And we've been together now for more than 15 years.
The idea from this is something out of the Tuscany Hills, or is it?
Yes, but it's more French, really. It's European.
Lawsie's known a lot of women, but it's Caroline, the one he calls the princess, who seems to have cast that lasting spell on him.
He treats you like a princess?
Oh, no. That's only for the wireless. No, absolutely. That word doesn't even enter it. That was just a non-deplume because he didn't want to say who I was. No, that's nothing to do with it. Yes, he treats me beautifully. It's a great love we have. We get on frightfully well.
They say that opposites attract. She's very fey, inclined to give the impression of being vague, highly intelligent, very well read, terribly interesting, gentle, loving, and I just adore being around her and cuddling her.
Do you think you're the opposite to that?
Yes, I don't think I'm too many of those things. I don't think I'm soft and cuddly. I don't think I'm too vague. I don't know that I'm overly intelligent. So I think that we're different. And I consider myself a very fortunate man. And we love the same things. We share pleasure in the same things.
Quite sound right,
Princess Angus.
Although what's things going on in the palace these days? The whole family got together on the farm for Caroline's birthday. Between them, they have 9 children and 3 grandchildren.
And if you find yourself going up in the air, call me.
The radio tough guy can be a softie around the kids.
No, kiss. No, you've got to kiss me. Now you've got to kiss everybody else.
Lawsie's sons, Josh and Sam, usually avoid questions about their father, but when we got them talking, they said he could be very tough, but he was always fair.
If you do something wrong, you get reprimanded for doing what you did wrong, which is sort of happens in every family, I suppose. But not every day.
Is he tough, Josh?
He's just, he's more stubborn than tough.
What has John wanted the most for all of you?
To be happy. That's probably the most important thing.
And work. He works harder than anyone else I ever know, and in a way I I want to work hard, but sometimes I think he's worked too hard and he's suffered because of it. I once told him, I said, I work to live, I don't live to work. A backhander and sent off to Maroon. Not a good call with Dad.
Building up the Cloud Valley farm is the real fruit of Lawsie's labour.
So 12 years ago, there was nothing here?
No,
Nothing.
It's hard to imagine, isn't it? Just bare earth, not even a blade of grass.
We asked for the royal tour, and the King of Radio obliged.
This is Peter Barker, and Peter Barker takes early Tom Robertson Streetons and does, I suppose you'd call them artistic parodies, but they're better than that.
There's no doubt he lives in style, but what caught our eye were the little things that put a smile on your face.
Hello, Jake. How are you? Very well. Well, I'm glad you're very well. Have you been reading the books? How many? 43? I haven't read 43. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Very good.
That's how he practices talkback radio.
Party props for work and play.
It's fairly obviously a walking cane.
For when you're old.
Hold that for me, please. Not for when you're old. There's a small drinking vessel.
For when you're thirsty.
Here's another small drinking vessel, and here is a...
Let me guess.
Just a drop of wild turkey.
For when he's got to hobble into TUE and doesn't want to go, right?
John's sons say he's a canny collector. His cars are worth a fortune. But the boys know Dad's first commandment is, "Thou shalt not covet thy father's wheels."
Have you ever tried to sneak this one off the lot?
No, it wouldn't be worth my while. I mean, I like cars, but they're not worth dying for.
I'm very tough on my sons in that regard. If you work to get something, then you really appreciate it. If I gave them a Porsche, they wouldn't give a hoot in hell about it 3 or 4 weeks later.
He wants you to work for them.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I would be doing my sons a favour to say, here you are, here's a 500 SL Mercedes, take your girlfriend out. I would rather the girlfriend wanted to go out because they're who they are inwardly, not outwardly. And I don't think that their friends would think any of the more of them. In fact, I think it could work to their disadvantage. I think it's probably tough enough being the son or daughter of John Laws without me adding to it.
I think I could actually learn to live with that one. That wouldn't be a problem. No, I love this car.
And a roller, a Porsche, MG.
While he won't spoil them with cars, Laws has tried to give them values.
Got your eye on that, Sam?
Yeah, that's my car. It's Dad's car, but I like it.
Well, I hope I've given them confidence and self-respect, which I think are two very important things. So they're the things I've tried to teach them over and above respect and good manners and honesty.
So put on the kettle, darling, I'll make the tea, and we'll listen to the radio. He's bad enough for you, and he's good enough for me, King of the radio. King of the radio.
In bringing up his tribe, Laws says he's learned from his parents' mistakes. He's tried to be close without smothering them.
I wasn't very close to my father, I had great admiration and respect for him. I did miss his love. I did feel that I let him down. I felt very strongly that I wasn't the sort of son that he wanted to have.
What did he want?
Wasn't sure. But I just felt I wasn't it.
How close were you to your mother?
I don't know that I've ever really been terribly close to either of my parents.
You right, darling? Sarah? You right?
The older he gets, the more his family matters. He still lays down the law, but the kids know the old man has mellowed.
I drive fast, but only where I'm allowed to.
You don't have to anywhere.
Oh, I just came around
Well,
this
around
corner and
here.
he was sitting behind.
For all that the Australian public knows about your old man, what do you reckon is the bit they don't know?
They don't know that he's a softie and can be too sensitive and can be real sook sometimes. Although I don't ever tell him I said that.
They seem like decent kids. You've given them that.
Well, I hope they're decent kids. I think they're great. I love my kids as friends, which sounds like a very corny line. But it's true. I just enjoy being with them. We have fun together. Happy birthday, darling.
Happy birthday, Mum. Thank you. Thank you.
For Caroline.
Yeah.
Caroline.
Has he made you a happy woman?
Yes, he certainly has. He's given me a marvellous life.
He says that the thing that matters most to him is that you are all happy. Are you a happy family?
Yes, I think so. I think very happy family. Yes.
Hello world, this is John Laws.
When he's back on radio tomorrow, Lawsie may grumble and grouch about the state of the country. But out here in Cloud Valley, he knows he really is a lucky man.
I have a great life. I enjoy myself. I love laughing. I love singing. I love driving motor cars. And I love my friends. And I'm not this serious, introverted, screwed-up individual that people would like to believe I am. No, I love my life.
I mean, I go and buy a dozen shirts and I may leave 10 in the wardrobe for 2 or 3 years because I think that perhaps tomorrow I won't be able to afford them. That sounds really weird, but...
Why does John Laws sign a 10-year contract? Why not 1 year or 2 years? Security?
Yeah. It's like buying a dozen shirts. Only you buy a dozen years. For fear that it'll all end. Strange, isn't it? Don't you ever think that? No. Don't.
Did Tony get the bit out of we've got the cut on land. A little bit clank.
You could see at a glance that we're very well organised, know exactly what record we're going to start with. Pam, can I have a cup of tea, please?
Stand by for the John Laws Show.
Hello world, this is John Laws.
I think he's successful because people love to hate John Laws.
Singer Cole Joy is an old mate.
They've got to listen, even they say, I don't listen to that bastard on the wireless, but they do listen. They've got to listen. He's compulsive listening. He's the best in the world at what he does.
In the cutthroat world of radio, it seems that John Laws has ruled forever. Sydney is the throne, but the Laws kingdom stretches as far north as Cairns and the Alice, and as far south as Tasmania. He's seen on national television almost every day of the week, and he's read in newspapers and magazines right throughout the country. Lawsie's multi-million-dollar contract makes him probably the highest paid radio person anywhere in the world. But he's much more important than just that. Because of his popularity and his credibility, Lawsie has got clout.
2,027 people would totally support the government if it sacked the troublemakers. 3 people said they wouldn't. So let's see if the government has the guts to stand up to the union, if it's necessary, but only if it's necessary. Somehow, I sadly still doubt it.
As far as Laws is concerned, it's clear-cut. He's given the government absolute proof of what the world, John Law's world, wants done.
The thing that really pisses me off is 2027 to 3. I mean, you know, what sort of assurance do they want?
And sure enough, some people do question the accuracy of such a survey.
Surveys are taken of people at random. Your surveys are taken from your listeners.
Well, I can hardly take a survey of John Singleton's listeners, can I?
Correct, but by the same token, your listeners are about on a par with King Darius.
You happen to be one of them, you clown.
But New South Wales Premier Neville Rand had to do something when a casual, off-the-cuff remark by Laws caused a run on a Sydney building society. An extraordinary, unjustified panic.
Don't you worry. Don't you have 1 minute's worry. There's never been a more stupid room, right? Right.
That came as a nasty shock too. I would never have envisaged that sort of reaction. I never had any idea that people would take that much notice. I just couldn't believe that. And I was wrong. I made a mistake.
But if you run a petition against strikes in Australia, against the militants, you get 4 million signatures.
The comment was virtually an aside. It wasn't a categorical statement of fact. It took 5 seconds. The most damaging 5 seconds of my career. And I just didn't think that people would respond that way. And frankly, I don't believe that they responded to the extent that many people said they did.
4 million signatures there. That's power. Were you not conscious of that?
I was pleased with it. But to what avail? I mean, I took it to Canberra, and so I can collect 4 million signatures. Probably a lot of people could if they spent enough time. I just have the facility that enables me to do it quicker. But to what avail? I took it to Canberra, and everybody took happy pictures, and the Prime Minister threw them in the garbage bin, I guess.
Whether it's petitions or pencils, John Laws can sell anything.
Whenever I was stuck, I used to ring Lawsie, and it always worked. You get Lawsie to pick up anything and say, hey, buy this. I really recommend it to you. He puts it down and touches his nose. Bang, sold out.
John Singleton, the advertising millionaire, now runs a rival radio show. What's Lawsie's secret? Singleton says it's his total credibility. Could he sell ice cubes to the Eskimos?
My word, he could, mate. He'd sell ice cubes to the Eskimos, mate, and fair dinkum, they'd trade in fridges to buy them.
Pearson's pumice sand soap does work and has done for 100 years. Little Pearson's pumice sand soap onto a little cloth, rub it on the upholstery, wait until it dries, get the vacuum cleaner and suck it off.
It's commercials like these that have helped John Laws buy some privacy. Cloud Valley Farm, tucked away north of Sydney. This is home for 80 deer and 90 beef cattle. A gelding for some strange reason called Casanova and friend. And at weekends, the Laws family, along with his other great love, thoroughbred motor cars.
These are 3 of my favourite sports cars, because sports cars are hard to get these days. They don't make too many convertibles, and they're all very rare and unusual.
At last count, Lawsie had 19 cars, and his Persian cat, Tamara, shares his love of speed and antique beauty. Like every weekend farmer, Monday morning means trading in the country Range Rover for the city Rolls Royce and that other John Law's world.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight it's my very great pleasure to introduce a unique television program.
Put the name John Laws on any television program, any record, a book of poetry, even a glossy calendar, and it sells. The name has become the product, and the super salesman sells himself best of all.
No matter how boring the show is, like the lifespan of an ant in Rhodesia, for an hour will work if it's tied together as part of John Law's world, because he's just so credible.
It's become like a product name, yeah. I can't do much about it.
You could stop it.
How?
Instead of hello world, this is John Laws, it could be goodbye world. Get out of the business.
You mean I could quit radio? Oh, yes, of course I could do that. But I'd be very silly to do that at this time. While it's successful, that'd be silly. I thought of doing it, and I keep thinking of doing it.
The John Laws Show, Australia's #1 radio program.
Hello. Yeah.
I'm very nervous. I'm very upset. So, bide your time with me, okay?
Away you go.
Sorry.
That's all right. Tell me your problem.
John Laws has the wettest shoulder in radio. At times, his show can be like a good cry over the backyard fence.
She's an unmarried mother with 2 children. And I live in the Housing Commission.
Lawsie gets them all, the funny calls, the angry and the chatty, along with the lonely, the suicidal and the frightened.
You let me give you a hand up. I'll get on to somebody at the police department, and I'll have somebody come and talk to you. People can't make that sort of threat.
John Laws, it seems, always has the answers to other people's problems. But what we discovered is that John Laws unto himself, well, that's a different story.
Because you can give advice doesn't mean that you can take it.
A flash flood strands Lawsie on his farm.
Sunday afternoon on the lake.
Proving that despite what his devoted listeners may think, the prophet cannot walk on water. He admits that this public image of infallibility is a real problem, a problem that continues to hound him even when he's off the air.
You never really get left alone. I've been told by the editor of 2 newspapers that if you put John Laws on a banner in the street and it's something about his personal life or his health, it sells newspapers. The newspaper really has a nice time with John Laws.
He's a poet, he's a whipper, he's a prophet, he's a pusher, he's a pilgrim and a preacher, and a problem when he's stoned. He's a walking contradiction, partly truth and partly fiction, taking every wrong direction on his lonely way back home.
John Laws rides his trail bike like he rides radio, with an arrogant ease and total control. And in both cases, it's a kind of display. Look at me, I'm good. And of course, he is. So why does he have to keep on doing it?
Pride and fear. He's a very proud man, and he's dreadfully insecure. You know?
Laws says that he doesn't have many friends. John Singleton, Cole Joy, and Sydney newsreader Brian Henderson all go back a long way together.
You couldn't really lead him past a mirror at a certain stage of the night, because he'd just look into it and say, "Oh, I'm ugly. My God, I'm ugly."
Lawsie's never been real secure. He's always, even though he's not had a lot of friends that I know, he's had to have, like he's got 11 motorbikes. I mean, who can ride 11 motorbikes?
Again, the word we keep hearing is insecure. Are you insecure?
I'm insecure with relationships with people.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I have a wife that I just adore. I really just worship her. And I often think, you know, this can't last. I don't deserve that. Somebody that good really wouldn't want to spend their life with somebody like me. And I when she goes away, I fret, and I'm sure that she's going to look at another man. She tells me that she never would. I suppose I'm insecure about success. And I sometimes, you asked me questions earlier, you know, why do people listen? Why do they take notice? And I really don't know why. And I think that that'll all stop too. That's probably part of the motivation of the collection of material things.
The cars, the bikes?
Yeah, I almost feel as though I'm hoarding, as though I'm saving things up for the rainy day that I feel is inevitable. I never thought of that before either.
And that's the paradox of John Laws. Schizoid? Maybe. He rides life like this bike, on a fine edge of balance and control. High in the saddle, but confident that finally he's going to come a cropper.
Despite the success, you don't feel that you're going to fall on your feet automatically. In fact, what you've said, you feel that at the end of that road is failure.
Yeah. Unless, yes, there's no alternative. Yeah, I do think that.
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.